get to the answers after Monica.
Hi, Dennis. Thanks for having me on tonight.
Thanks for coming.
So in September, last week of September and the first week of October of last year, I got to go to Brazil for the first time, to a place called the Pantanal. It is, for those of you who don't know where that is, it is kind of on the left-hand side of Brazil, to the left-hand side, down kind of in the middle. And supposedly it is known for the, I don't know how to explain it. It's basically the best place in the Western Hemisphere to see birds and wildlife. So I was there for 10 days and I got, I think, 168 lifers. So that was a major trip for me. This is a crane hawk. And what was very interesting about this bird is that they are called crane hawks because they stick their legs into crevices and use their talons to pull out like bugs and eggs. So on this log, there was some white-rumped and white-winged swallows that were nesting there. And this hawk would go over to different parts of the log and actually stick its leg in. It wasn't successful in catching anything, but it was really fun to watch the swallows dive bomb it. So I think that was one of my favorite experiences, watching that. Oh, if you want to go back to the first slide, I didn't tell you what that was.
Oh, it's coming up again.
Oh, is it? Okay, good. So these are proboscis bats. They are actually probably only about 3 to 4 inches long. And actually there was probably 10 of them that were all lined up on the tree trunk. So like if you were not super close to them, you wouldn't even know that they were there. So that was really, really cool to see.
You almost don't know that they're there now.
Yeah, I had a hard time even seeing them with my bare eyes, honestly. But it was really cool to see them so up close. And, well, caimans are everywhere in the Pantanal. We were on the river. They have a state park down there called Meeting of the Waters State Park. So basically it's all one large preserve. And probably hundreds of thousands of caimans there. But I just loved how this butterfly actually will lick the salt from the crocodile's eyes. Or the caiman's eyes, sorry, it's not a crocodile. But that's what the butterfly is doing right there, which was kind of neat.
I think you still don't want to meet the teeth.
I have a funny story, actually. Most of you probably won't believe me, but I have video to prove it. I got to pet a wild caiman while I was down there. And it was not a pet, and it was not a baby.
And it was not vicious.
Nope. So we had come back from the river. It was dusk, and the boat driver had gotten out because there was a caiman right next to the boat, and he had gotten the caiman away from the boat and then sat on it, and then he kind of waved us over and said, "You can come pet it." So we all did and didn't do anything. It just sat there. It's really cool.
Where?
With his body still on it, holding it.
No, actually the guy walked away as soon as I got over there. I got over there last. The guy walked away, but everybody laughs about that.
Where did you pet it?
On the tail. I wasn't that brave. So this is I think it's a great kiskadee. I'm not sure. I know it's a kiskadee, but I'm not sure how big this one was. I don't know, I just happened to be walking around one of our lodges and I would just happen to see it catch a lizard, and it was like banging it and whacking it on the walkway, which was really cool to see. I didn't know flycatchers did that at all. Kiskadees are flycatchers, if you guys didn't know that. This is it's a capuchin. This was a very fresh capuchin, actually. On one of our lodges, they were all over the trees behind where we were sleeping, and this one would just sit in the tree and it just kept ripping the fruit off like they were mangoes, and it would put its mouth on the branch and then use its hands to rip the fruit off, and then it would actually throw them down. So they're actually really smart. You got to give them credit for it. I just love the sassy shot of it sticking its tongue out.
Yeah, that's cool.
This is a yellow-rumped cacique. Probably one of the more populous birds down there where we were. They nest in large groups, kind of like monk parakeets, but their nests are separate. And I love their blue eyes. Their eyes are just so different from any birds that we have up here. So it was really fun to watch them. All right. So this is a rufous-bellied thrush and its chick. I think this was towards the end of the trip, actually. And we were going to do a safari. And a lot of the time, like during the hot part of the day, we were just hanging out at the lodge. And I took my camera out and just wandered the grounds. And I happened to see this little one with its mom. And it was actually very tame. I mean, you could walk right up to it and it didn't do anything. So it was really fun to see Mom bringing back food for it. So cute. This is a black and gold, I'm blanking on the name of the monkey right now. But anyway, we saw several families with babies, but this was probably the youngest baby that we had. It was just really cool to see such a little one. This was a bat that one of the people that I was on the tour with spotted through her binoculars. I believe it's a species of broad-nosed bat, but I just thought it was so cool looking, and I rarely get to see bats around, so it was just really cool to see.
Great job.
Alrighty. Anteater. I think this was one of the targets for most of our group. Actually, the anteater is my friend's favorite animal, so this was a special encounter for her. So we had gone out a couple times. It took us a couple times to get this. And a lot of the land out there is owned by cattle farmers, so there's all barbed wire everywhere. But we were able to get onto the land and kind of track the anteater down. And they're not the best at sight, but they can smell really well. So you just have to keep that in mind, that they'll smell you before you even know that they're there. But this one just walked right in front of us.
How do you track an anteater?
I mean, a lot of the guides down there are really good at what they do.
Okay.
They can spot things, I mean, that I couldn't find right away. So the key is to just stay downwind so that they can't smell you. And they also track really well by like feeling the ground. So we just had to make sure we stayed downwind, and everything worked out perfect. And we were able to see it actually getting ants out of some of the termite mounds down there. These are Nande parakeets. They're also called Nande conures in the pet trade. But these guys are native to Brazil, and we were lucky to get a nice flock of 4 or 5 of them. And I thought it was really interesting that they were feeding as a group on this one mango. They were all just going to town on it. I've never seen birds share like this, so that was pretty interesting watching that behavior. This is a little green woodpecker. This was actually a really hard shot to get. Their coloring is like not really green, but it's like a grayish brown color. But I love how you can see his tongue here, and it's eating, I can't remember the name of the seed, this tree that it was eating off of, but I love woodpeckers, and the barring on this one is just super gorgeous.
So was this a full-grown one or a youth?
Correct. I believe this was an adult. I couldn't tell you on, just based on the fact that I don't see a gape on this bird and it was alone, I'm going that it was an adult.
Thank you.
All right, next. Oh, and can't go to the Pantanal without seeing jaguars. So Pantanal is really well known for its jaguar population, especially along the river. And the best chance of seeing one is to go during the low river season, when the dry season, because they'll come down to the water when the water level is really low, and you'll get better looks at them that way. So dry season, I think right now they're in the wet season, so you'd want to go between like July and November, I think. So we were at the perfect time. This is a mom and her cub. Not a little baby, so this one I think was a year old, the baby. But it was just nice to see the mom and cub together.
And a pink tongue out.
Yeah. So we got to do some really cool safaris down there. We did some night safaris. This is a common paraki, which is in the nightjar family. It is smaller than our common nighthawk. And so we got lucky several times to find probably 15 or 20 of them on the roads. So this is one of my best shots that I got out of it, considering it's pitch black. But one of my favorite birds of the trip, I think. Oh, capybaras, can't go to there without seeing capybaras either. So this is one of the night safaris we did, and we were just coming back to the lodge, and we just happened to see capybara crossing the road in front of us. And then these guys are probably the size of a small dog at this point. So they were really little. It was just really one of a kind to see such little babies nursing. We had lots of families of capybaras down there, but the babies were all like weaned and on their own. So this was definitely a special moment, I think, for the whole trip. Next. It was sun grebe. This was one of my target birds for the trip. And you can see why people love them. Look at their feet. Their feet are black striped, which you can only see out of the water. Usually they don't come out of the water. Because like our grebes, they're very, very awkward on land. Their legs are placed farther back on their body, so they can't walk very well. But we got this guy to come out of the water, which was really cool. Are they also related to coots? I'm seeing your question. I don't know. I would say no. Coots are really good at walking on land. Grebes are not. I would say they're not, but don't quote me on that. All right.
Thank you.
This was one of our hardest species to target for this trip. This is an adult Agami heron. They are very, very, very hard to see. And this was actually the only shot of the adult that I got, so I'm really happy with how it came out. They like to hide in the undergrowth and stuff, so it was just very difficult to even find this one. But they're very beautiful birds, like a blue and purpley tones to their feathers. We also got lucky to see a juvenile out, but the adult definitely takes the cake for me. This was the most prized bird of this trip, I think. This is a bare-faced curassow. This was at our very last lodge. So they had, they would put food out for the birds every morning, probably like 6:30. And this is the dad, I think. No, wait, this is the mom. This is the female with one of her 2 chicks. So cute. And the chick would actually get up on the feeder and try and get some food for itself. So that was pretty cute to see. All right, next. Oh, this was probably my top 2 favorite birds. This is a chestnut-eared aracari, related to the toucan. This is a bird that I was targeting on my way to, that I had on my target list for this trip, and it came out, perched right on the open branch for like a split second, got a couple shots off, and then it flew up into the tree. So I count myself really lucky that I got this shot off. This is a coati, a very pregnant, no, nursing one. This was an adult female coati that came to the bird feeder the couple mornings that we were there. So it was really cool to see. I really wanted to see one of those. We also have those in the United States. You can find them in Arizona as well. But definitely cool to see these.